All right, everybody. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome. Today we got Belgium and Portugal. So this should be a pretty good game. Belgium, a top team. We all know what they represent, and we got Portugal, a top team. So let's see what happens in this one. It should be a good one. We have the national anthems of Portugal. A little chilly in here. Put on the jacket. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. You can leave a comment. And now we're going to have the national anthem of Belgium. Big game this month. Big game. Man, there's a lot of superstars in this. Jesus. Hazard, what you gonna do? Oh, he's a Capitan. Babo, let's go.
Top 90 earlier in the day. Now it's down around 80 degrees.
Got my non-alcoholic wine, you know what I'm saying?
In Andalusia. Belgium goes with experience. 4 of the starters have more than 100 caps.
All right, let's go to the lineups. We got Courtois in goal.
33 caps between them.
Vermaelen, Vertonghen, Oudewald, Witsel, Tillemans, Hazard, Meunier, Lukaku, Hazard, his brother, Eden, and De Bruyne. They're playing a 3-4-2-1. Portugal going with a 4-3-3. Right now we have the captains Hazard and Ronaldo, the towing course. For the Portuguese, we have Patricia, Diaz, Pepe, Guerreiro, Dallo, Paulinho, Moutinho, Sanchez, Ronaldo, Jota, and Bernardo Silva. Man, the teams are loaded. So
in terms of caps, Pepe in defence at his 7th tournament, João Moutinho in midfield at his 6th, and up front Cristiano Ronaldo remarkably at his 9th, and on the brink of becoming international football's most prolific male goal scorer. 3 goals for him in 2 previous games against the Belgians. Paulinho's only played a total of 90 minutes in his 5 caps. Difficult task today, having that awareness and composure to not get pulled out of position, which is exactly where Kevin De Bruyne wants to operate. Stage is beautifully set in Seville at La Cartuja, a 60,000 capacity arena built for the World Athletics Championships more than 20 years ago.
All right, Lukaku, this is the big one, man.
18,000. These faces, you know the names, we're aware of the reputations. You do reach the knockout stage of a major competition, and certain games feel like they will be played at an elevated level. This definitely promises to be one of those. There won't be too many more chances for the main stars in these 2 groups of players. There's an element of now or never to this.
Players take a knee.
Unified taking of the knee. players and officials.
This is being played in Seville, in Spain. And we're off.
A standout game. The world's top team trying to dethrone the defending European champions. Belgium in the red today, with the world's most famous player out there too, looking to make yet more history. Here is Jan Vertonghen, only cap number 129. Two of the most experienced sides ever to face each other in a European Championship in terms of the number of caps that they possess between them. Thomas Vermaelen has been asked to slot into the central portion of that back three for Belgium. Flanked by Alderweireld and Vertonghen. Torgan Hazard. Kevin De Bruyne. Another thing that we should mention is the quality, or rather the lack of quality, of the playing surface, which is disappointingly dry and dusty and bumpy in places as well. Repaired areas of the turf, but not all the repairs have been entirely successful, and both managers have had plenty to say about the nature of the pitch here. To Ruben Diaz, to Rafa Guerreiro. Two sides playing for the right to meet Italy in Munich on Friday.
That's right. The winner of this plays Italy. Wow. Big man things.
Heavyweight side of the draw.
And a real interesting matchup, isn't it, John? Because both teams want to attack more than they defend. So which one of these tactical setups can make a game a little bit more cagey? That falls on the side of Portugal. However, Belgium has had 48 hours more rest. So there's going to be a little bit more tempo to them, a little bit more of an energy to them. So it's going to be very interesting to see which tactical setup is the tempo setter in this one.
All right. Man, this is an exciting game, man. Belgium and Portugal. Wow. Big game. You know what I mean?
Martinez. 503rd game of his managerial career, which began 14 years ago.
Excuse me, everybody. Hold on.
English football in Swansea City. Never before has we had a group of players of this much talent to work with. Short of the final of the last World Cup.
See if any nerves play into this game, you know. Big game sometimes, even though these are professionals, you know, they're human.
But it's almost got the feeling of a last dance, doesn't it? That golden generation that has been so often talked about. And yet Belgium are the only team to play 5 players 32 years or older, over 100 minutes in this one. So you get the feeling, looking at Vermaelen being in the 11 today, that collectively as a group, this feels like their last chance to win a trophy.
Yeah. Both teams.
Ruben Diaz.
Ruben Diaz, huh? Manchester City.
Guerreiro. Renato Sanchez. Pepe. This outfield player at the tournament at 38. 3 of the 4 oldest players at this Euro are Portuguese. Someone said in our studio prior to kick-off, it will be akin to a chess match in the opening stages. Coutinho fending off Witzel.
I thought Fernando Santos did a wonderful job of finding the balance in the midfield against France last time out, and a lot of that was the inclusion of Coutinho and Sanchez in the middle. But that was with Danilo anchoring that. Now it's a different task for Paulinho, who's in a real interesting spot here. But Sanchez can be a very powerful player in the midfield.
Jota is in with a chance here, but has pulled it badly.
This is exactly what you want if you're a Portugal fan, is direct vertical running right through the midfield with the ball at his feet. And I felt like Renato Sanchez was
Jota, that was a great chance.
Operating in both phases of the game, but particularly with the ball at his feet, driving through the middle. It forces defenders to slide in, and then you slip it to Jota. Fantastic run forward from Renato Sanchez,
who's on the ball again now. His pass asks too much of João Moutinho. De Bruyne. Far out. De Bruyne. Tielemans. Fernando Santos, the artistic director of a particularly talented Portuguese cast. Longest serving manager in Portugal's history. For another 3 years. Here's Lukaku. Glimpse of the Portuguese goal for Belgium.
All right, so we're kind of in the feeling out stage. I feel like both teams are feeling out each other. So.
Vast amount of space down there. Huge apron where the running track is between the front row of the spectators and the near touchline. Special day for Roberto Martinez too, who's been able to invite various members of the Spanish wing of his family to come to the game. Alderweireld. Belgian side, one of three to win all three of their group stage games. Italy and the now departed Netherlands were the others. Portugal reaching this stage having finished third in their group. Sounds like they scraped in, but they were the best of the third place teams, and let's not forget that they won the tournament, having finished third in the group back in 2016. This is Tielemans. Meunier. Floated towards Lukaku, but well beyond him. And reeled in by Torgan Hazard. Whistle. Tielemans. And De Bruyne. Whistle.
And we just watched Kevin De Bruyne and Hazard in these positions. I felt like in the group stage, while Belgium scored 7 goals, they still struggle to operate those half spaces, which makes them so dynamic. And now the freedom of movement between De Bruyne and Hazard in here, it's going to ask a ton of questions in the midfield of Portugal. So they need to be organized, but also composed and not get dragged out of position. Because now you look at the way Belgium's set up, they've now gathered a little bit of rhythm in possession. This is exactly the kind of game Roberto Martinez wants from his team.
Meunier. Whistle. May not be as glamorous and garlanded as some of his teammates, but is very important to this Belgian unit. Lukaku, Eden Hazard, with the shot.
good understanding between Eden Hazard and Romelu Lukaku. Just so quick and tight spaces, and we know form is going to be a little bit of a question mark with the amount of injuries he's had at Real Madrid, but just the ability to hold it up, lay it off, play it into the feet of Lukaku. Fantastic combination play from Belgium going forward.
Yes, sir. It's going to be a good one, man. So far, it's a very even game. So, very, very even game between Belgium and Portugal.
Straightforward for them to rely on 3 goals in the last 6 minutes against Hungary. Played by Germany. There we go.
Just a quick recap. This is the round of 16 in the Euro. So, it's knockout stage. You know, somebody's got to go home.
Hungary leading Germany at that moment.
And especially when you compare it to their championship run in 2016, they've already conceded more goals than they did throughout that entire tournament. And that's the difficult balance, I think, for Fernando Santos and his Portuguese side, because for my money, they have more talent around Cristiano Ronaldo than he's ever had. And yet, naturally, his thinking of things is very pragmatic. And he's trying to find that balance of unleashing this team and allowing them to go forward. But so far in this one, it's been Belgium dominating possession and Portugal set up for the counter.
Yeah, very interesting that Portugal's sitting back like that.
To say Portugal supposedly stronger than 5 years ago, but yet to truly show it. Goes on. De Bruyne. Torgan Hazard. Toby Alderweireld. Eden Hazard. De Bruyne to Witsel. Belgium's side is probably as close as you would get to a club team in terms of cohesion and spirit at international level, because they all play together as a unit so often.
I mean, to that point, Roberto Martinez before the tournament said it's not about systems, it's about style of play. And that's why when you have Torgan Hazard playing as a wingback who thinks like a creative midfielder, De Bruyne and Hazard, when you have those likes of players that are within your quote-unquote system, it's not about the tactical formation, it's about filling in the spaces and understanding the style of play you want to play with. And that's why I think Belgium's so enticing for the neutral viewer. I mean, we've seen at times Fernando Santos was on this touchline screaming De Bruyne playing as the left wing back and Torgan Hazard coming inside. There's a lot of freedom in possession.
We got chess going on right now, folks. It's a chess match.
And if you want, Cristiano Ronaldo is playing out there. But Portugal rarely have the ball. Vertonghen. De Bruyne. Renato Sanchez. Axel Witsel. Bernardo Silva.
All right, now it's Portugal's time to try and bail because, man, they haven't had much of the ball.
So this is where Moutinho's got to have a huge impact in this game for Portugal. He's got to find a way to get on the ball, switch the point of attack, get them to break the lines. But this is where the balance is going to be vital for Portugal, especially in possession. and I go back to Paulinho only playing 90 minutes in his 5 caps, there's some real inexperience there. And in possession, you can see Pepe and Ruben Diaz pointing at him, almost instructing him to find the right spaces because he's kind of getting in the way of both Coutinho and Sanchez.
Into Lukaku. And Pepe did just enough. To make sufficient physical contact without being enough for the referee to intervene and call a foul. Certainly knocked Lukaku off his stride. Renato Sanchez. Dallo. Bernardo Silva. Jota. Cristiano Ronaldo. Coutinho. Sport having dispatched the ball. Pair of casualties. Coutinho at Witsel.
I mean, what a remarkable story it is. Witsel tore his Achilles, what was it, 4.5 months ago?
And was told he'd be out for 9 months.
I mean, such a huge asset for Roberto Martinez in the way this midfield wants to operate because he allows everything else to click. Because as he's gotten older, he's thought more of the defensive part of the game and always had an eye when Tielemans wants to be the tempo setter. He's got to keep an eye of just putting out the fires. And Witsel's just done a fantastic job for this Belgian side over the last 4 years. 4.5 months to recover from Achilles is a remarkable story in and of itself.
No lasting damage.
Like I said, it's still a chess match, this game, man. Both teams are still feeling each other out, you know?
Lukaku. Breaks for Diogo Jota. That one early opportunity for Portugal. Solitary chance so far. Paulinho. Bernardo Silva. Ronaldo. Paulinho. In possession. Themselves a free kick.
So it's just got to be a little bit quicker from Paulinho, but more so from Pepe and Ruben Diaz playing into the feet of Paulinho. Witsel and Tielemans doing a wonderful job of climbing up the midfield, so both Sanchez and Coutinho are finding it very difficult to get on the ball.
Belgium to Torgan Hazard. Hazard is saying, what on earth did I do wrong there?
Well, the right side of the Portuguese defense has been a real concern, which is why Dallo is in the lineup and Semedo is not. We saw what Germany did.
Yeah, that's right. Semedo is not playing. I didn't recognize that. Dallo, huh?
Channel over the right shoulder, Pepe getting after it in the spaces behind. That's really the first time in the first half we've seen Torgan Hazard get in those spaces.
Facts. Man, I didn't know Witsel had torn his Achilles. Damn, 4 months and he's back already? Jeez. What kind of modern medicine was he using?
Neatly done by Coutinho. Still the down. Guerrero. Cristiano Ronaldo. And eventually the flag is raised for offside.
Yeah, that's the kind of run you love if you're Fernando Santos in Portugal, because that's where Cristiano Ronaldo needs to operate. And at times in a game like this, you're going to get frustrated having very few touches, but it's imperative for the team that there is a vertical option to play that. Bernardo Silva is not going to be that option. Jota can be on the counter, but all three of the Belgian defenders are natural center backs, and so they're going to be worried about Ronaldo at all times. And if he stretches the team, then you can play in between the lines and use the midfield and open up the game for you.
Meunier. Reaching the midway point of the first half, Belgium cast in the role of cat. Portugal as mouse. And off goes Meunier. The end of a breaking pass. Pepe. Whistle. Foul and free kick. Theatrical. Tumble to the floor from Ronaldo with a yelp thrown in as well. Getting Spring has seen that before. Decided it was not worthy of intervention, and hey presto, Ronaldo straight back up. Guerrero. Renato Sanchez from an improbable distance.
Well, Tielemans doing a good job of just limiting that combination off of Jota. And Meunier just gets into the way of Ronaldo. Quite frankly, there was nothing there. Good officiating for the referee.
Whistle. Meunier. Belgium coming forward with some purpose. Loves that long diagonal. Usually hits them rather better than that. Forward for Cristiano. Wait for support. It's led by Jota. It's Renato Sanchez. Moutinho. Palhinha. Guerrero. Silva of Manchester City. That of Manchester United, although recently on loan at Milan. Jota. Now that looked like that ball by Thomas Vermaelen. And Felix Spring concurs.
The touch from Jota was in behind from Vermaelen, but great spot being picked up there from Jota underneath Cristiano Ronaldo. Ball can be clipped in, he can turn, get after the defender 1v1. Dangerous set piece here for Portugal.
All right, so we have a free kick, and it looks like Ronaldo's stepping up. So let's see what he can do.
This tournament, we have yet to see a goal scored from a direct free kick.
Yeah, that's true. No direct free kick goals in this tournament, which is shocking.
It's nothing better than when the stage is his. It is Cristiano Ronaldo. Palhinha back in. Really sweetly hit. The first genuine test for Thibaut Courtois. Alderweireld. He's still in the exploratory phase.
Sure is.
This is Renato Sanchez. Yeah.
Not a lot of action, but like I said, a lot of chess.
See, when the game is in this posture, you wonder if Bernardo Silva can maybe leave that right wing spot and come inside, come in those half spaces and have a little bit more of an impact. At times for Portugal, he's stuck on that touchline, which really limits the kind of player he is, the kind of player all of us have seen him with Manchester City. And so it's been easy for Belgium to defend him. But if he comes inside and combines with Ronaldo, could be a different option for Portugal going forward.
Padilla. Surrender by Eden Hazard to Renato Sanchez. This is Jota. It's Guerrero. Dallo. He was in the air an awfully long time. Palhinha.
Better for Portugal. First 12, 13 sitting in their defensive shape. And anytime you're defending a Cristiano Ronaldo free kick, it's so important that you follow your runners. And as this ball's hit, Courtois does a fantastic job of making a save. The ball's dipping, maybe a little deflected. But every single Belgian player reacted immediately. So any kind of rebound, they were between the ball and the attacking player. It's a little thing, but it's so important because you have no idea what Ronaldo's going to do on any direct free kick. I mean, Courtois has to put his hand on that because you don't know if it's dipping inside the post or whatnot, but then you've got to do your job and see the play out. Belgium did a good job at defending that. He makes the ball do things that many of us have never seen, huh?
But he has never scored a direct free kick at the Euros. So some things remain even beyond him for the time being. Two terrific teams locked in combat to show their full repertoire. Ruben Diaz. The stakes, the greater the caution. Renato Sanchez, the young player of the tournament at Euro 2016.
He just looks a different player, doesn't he, over the last 14 months?
Rejuvenated by his time at Lille.
I mean, he's talked about rediscovering the love of the game. I think winning in Lille has really helped him, but in 2016, all of us were talking about the prospects of this young player, then going to Bayern. It didn't work out there, struggled at other places. Yet this tournament, especially that last game against France, he looks like a completely different player.
Lukaku. Referee said no foul. It's Rick willing to let this flow as much as possible. Whistle. Vertonghen.
The kind of run that could absolutely kill Portugal right now is a midfield run for a little clip ball over the top. Eden Hazard, Kevin De Bruyne, somebody underneath Lukaku, stretching the back line where you have unaccounted for, and really make Pepe and Ruben Diaz uncomfortable with leaving Lukaku then in a 1v1 spot. Belgium can play out of many, if not all, situations, and yet at times maybe a little bit better for them to get Pepe to worry about the space in behind the way Germany did, and then you can come back to try to keep possession and play between the lines a little bit more.
Eden Hazard. This is Meunier. Now De Bruyne. Guerrero. Now in by Romala. That provides a platform that Belgium can't exploit. Down.
Game is very slow. Must be hot in Seville. Let's check what the temperature is.
Moutinho.
What is the temperature in Seville? Let's see. There's the
Euro 2020 continues tomorrow. More action for the round of 16. Croatia.
79. Not that hot. 44% humidity, so it's not that bad. It's not that hot. And it's at nighttime, it's 9 o'clock, so
There is in this half of the bracket as well. So Italy awaiting winners of this and beyond that. France, Switzerland, Croatia, Spain are in this section.
big up to Don Robbie, I must say that, and his watch party, because I'm watching them on my other screen, and I love watching them guys, and they have their watch parties. So anybody watching me, you can check them out also. They're very entertaining, man. I mean, they got like a studio set up. So YouTube channel is Don Robbie, DON space ROBBIE. Very, very lit, very lit.
Standing Benish tumble by Alderweireld, he was caught. When he went down, wasn't entirely commensurate with the contact.
But to your point about the game being played with the handbrake on, that's been one of the things that has stood out and one of the few trends in this European Championship when you compare it to 2016. The tempo's been a little slower. And when you dive into the weeds a little bit and analyze it and use some of the stats, there's been more 10-pass plus sequences than in 2016. And there's been less possessions, which tells you the game's been played a little bit slower. A part of that, John, is they're traveling. The other aspect is the pandemic congested schedule has forced the games to slow down a little bit more than we're used to at this level.
And some of the games have been played in warmer conditions than they were in France 5 years ago.
Which I'm a little surprised this one, with how our previous games in Seville, there's no hydration break.
So it would have been if it had been an earlier kickoff. The temperature was up beyond 90 degrees. So around about 80 at kickoff. Time 25 to 10 in the evening. Jota. Bernardo Silva. Now they're weaving from side to side, trying to find an area in which you can do damage.
Yeah, game moving very slow.
Ruben Diaz.
You a little surprised how this game's turned out so far?
No, I was about to say, for me, it's fairly typical of high-stakes knockout games between good teams. Good than yet willing to show their full hand. Renato Sanchez. Foul by Vertonghen.
Yeah, this
centre half.
one's moving a little slow. Teams are
He just
still.
doesn't want to be in these spots. Isolated 1v1 in the channel where Coutinho and Silva, quicker players, more dynamic, can expose him, and he knows exactly where he is. That was a smart tactical foul in that spot.
Coutinho just beyond Cristiano Ronaldo's jump. And Belgium can break here with De Bruyne. And here's Lukaku. And Paulinho coming back to try and tug back Lukaku. That was cynical. The referee didn't seem to see an infringement.
That's ridiculous.
It's a clear tug on the back of Lukaku's shirt as he ran through. And no suggestion the referee was playing advantage, and if it was, it didn't accrue. And I'll get another glimpse of that in a moment. De Bruyne. Thought about the hit from distance. Instead it's Alderweireld. Now it's Meunier. Again, Thomas Meunier. Nicely conceived idea with the outside of the right boot.
It was a fantastic idea off of combining with Kevin De Bruyne coming inside. Meunier came up through the academies as a striker, and so he's always operated as a wingback, but with good natural attacking instincts in the final third.
Good try, man.
We've seen him already score a goal in this European Championships, but this is the chase down from Paulinho, and watch him grab the shirt right there. That's absolutely unequivocally a foul and a yellow. Now, was he allowing advantage? Wasn't
It's a
enough.
foul.
In my opinion, I think Roberto Martinez has every right to be upset with that.
Actually, whistle is whistled by Felix Brick. Could not be a more experienced referee for this. He's stood for no nonsense so far. He's one of the prime candidates to referee the final here.
Dang, ref, that's the foul against my man Lukaku, man. Man was
Now just 2 weeks away.
pulling and grabbing all over his jersey. Come on.
Coutinho.
Good ball.
Good ball for Dallo.
He was offside.
Offside.
It's just different if you've got a center midfielder that can drop deep and then see the game and see the entire field. Look at Coutinho drop in between the two center backs. And because Bernardo Silva
Just about
drops in that
offside.
half of space, then Dalot can make the run in behind. Just a
Not
fantastic
Dalot,
goal
it's
from
Dalot.
Coutinho. And it's very apparent in the first 40 minutes of this one that Paulinho doesn't want to be on the ball. He's in there for his defensive instincts to put out fires, but when the two center backs of Portugal have the ball to feet, Paulinho doesn't really want that. So Coutinho drop it in there now gives Portugal a different look.
Meunier. Tielemans. Solidly defended by Guerrero.
Alvarado
Sanchez.
Sanchez, my word. You kidding me?
Looks to make the attempt to bring him down and failed. And here's Bernardo Silva. It's a corner. It's one of Portugal's better moments.
Just a world-class display from the 23-year-old Renato Sanchez. This is outside his 18, holding off De Bruyne, but then just being very direct, pulling right by the midfield of Belgium, and then having the awareness right here to get it off his feet. Fantastic play from Sanchez.
It's taken us 40 minutes to get a corner in this game for either team. When it comes, it's taken short. Guerrero, no one on him. Weak effort. Renato Sanchez. Witzel. Ruben Diaz. Oh. He was very well positioned to adjudicate on that.
Yeah, that was.
Courtois out-footballing Ronaldo. Vertonghen. Lukaku establishing his position, laying it off towards De Bruyne. 2 yards short of pace. Torgan Hazard.
Goal! Goal by Hazard! Goal! 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 What a goal by Hazard! What a goal! Thorgan, the brother. Grand goal, golazo. Yeah. Take a sip on that.
It dipped and it swerved.
Just a fantastic play here from Torgan Hazard to recognize exactly what the game's bringing him. He's got the space in front of him, and we've seen this time
What a
and time
strike.
again with Dortmund. He's a creative player. There's
Woo! That ball dipped.
but there's also that special technical ability.
Look at the ball
to
swerve.
grab it out of his hat. What a fantastic strike, dipping away from the goalkeeper and in the back of the net. Belgium lead 1-0 here in Seville.
That goal was
That's a
traveling.
beautiful shot.
All sorts of things en route. Devilishly difficult for the goalkeeper. And Torgan Hazard rams in his second goal of this tournament.
What a
The
goal.
European champions are behind against the world's top-ranked team.
Great goal. Yes, sir. Now we have a game, folks. Hopefully that will open this game up a little bit. You know what I mean? Let's go, Ronaldo. What you got? Okay. Okay. Okay.
Bernardo Silva.
Well, now this changes our game, doesn't it? Because now Portugal's got to come out of that shell a little bit. They've got to be more aggressive with their defensive posture. You can see Cristiano Ronaldo begging his back line to push forward. So now this opens up the game a little bit to larger spaces, which only suits those.
Right before the half, too.
And those front three in transition. But what a strike that was from Torgan Hazard.
De Bruyne. Paulinho lunging it. Referee's playing advantage. He may come back in yellow card, Paulinho, at the least. Meunier.
Oh, Jesus.
Slice, which turns into a back pass. So the goalkeeper can capture it. And Paulinho. Lukaku pointing to the referee and saying, look at De Bruyne. Look at the damage that's been done. Why aren't you acting on the challenge? And now Felix Grid does. A booking for João Paulinho.
Paulinho's lucky here.
Yeah,
I think he's
that should have been his second yellow
If this
card.
challenge is from behind, so the conversation is, yes, he gets the ball, but watch the left ankle of Kevin De Bruyne. Watch the left ankle from Paulini. That's 100% a reckless challenge. Now the question is it excessive force? Well, that's a nasty challenge. Good on the referee for allowing the advantage because it was there with Eden Hazard, but that is a nasty, nasty challenge.
Well, let's get the view of former international referee Mark Clattenburg on that. How would you have interpreted that challenge, Mark?
It's certainly a poor challenge. Finch was right to play on because they had an attacking phase, but there's no brutality, there's no speed into the challenge, there's no maliciousness, therefore the yellow card for reckless play is correct.
Thank you, Mark.
And this is the goal here. Torgan Hazard recognizes right now that if he's direct immediately with his first touch, Bernardo Silva can't get in there, and he strikes perfectly where it dips away from the goalkeeper. Just perfect technique.
Yes, sir. What a strike.
All of you at home, landing on your shooting foot, it dips. The goalkeeper's momentum just makes him that half a yard away from him. And he ends up having to pick the ball out of the back of the net. What a goal.
A moment of Belgian brilliance, saluted by a Spanish manager. And a large coterie of Belgian supporters inside this stadium in Seville. And this aging Portuguese team with a considerable challenge laid down to them now. Luckily, Kevin De Bruyne has recovered. Suffering the aftermath of those injuries sustained in the Champions League final. He's lost the feeling on one side of his face. It's going to take a matter of weeks, if not months, to return.
Good ball.
Just over Ronaldo again. Close to the end of a couple of crosses. Yeah. Not in any way handsome.
Why is Paulinho even playing? Why is he playing?
But to the point where the two managers earn their call.
It's just a different look to this Belgian side, and everyone naturally will look at the headliners, Eden Hazard, Kevin De Bruyne, but when Witzel's on the field, there's a balance to the midfield.
All right, that's the end of the first half. It's Belgium 1, Portugal 0. So, all right, we'll take a quick break, and I will be back for the second half.
Contested first half. In Seville, it's Belgium 1, Portugal 0.
way in the round of 16 on Monday. Croatia and Spain will be first, 11:30 Eastern on ESPN. That will be followed by France and Switzerland. We'll see just how fit and how up to form all of those sides are with all of the injuries and the COVID issues that they have.
All right.
We have a report now from the Belgian flies. They believe that American servicemen mislabeled the tweets, and Belgian flies, unlike their wimpy American counterparts, I'm told, always thick cut. I'm just reporting the news. I'll let you decide whether you like the fries thin or thick.
You have skin. Sometimes skin misbehaves. Acne, dark spots, fine lines, texture. We got you. Curology knows skin. Just how you're.
All right, so quick recap of the first half. Belgium won, Portugal nil. Time of possession is very close. We have Portugal 51%, Belgium 49 shots. Portugal 8, 1 on target. Belgium 4, 1 on target, 1 goal. Fouls, 6 on Belgium, 4 on Portugal. Yellow cards, 1 on Portugal, 9 on Belgium. No red cards. 3 offsides on Portugal, none on Belgium. 1 corner kick for Portugal, none for Belgium. 1 save by Courtois, the Belgian goalkeeper, and none for the Portuguese goalkeeper. Patricia. So that is the match stat so far. And very, very even game, I would say. Of course, it took a moment of brilliance from Hazard. What a hell of a strike by Thorgan Hazard, Eden Hazard's brother. So, yeah, it took a moment of specialty. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes that's the difference. You know, like I said, we got a lot of great players in this game. So sometimes it takes something of special to break this game open. And now we're going to have a wide open game. Let's see what changes Portugal makes for the second half. Let's see what tactical changes, any substitutes. I think they got to get Paulinho out of there. He doesn't look like he's up for it. So I would bring on Bruno Fernandes and probably drop Moutinho, more of a defensive role. Bring on Bruno Fernandes second half, so they can have a little more pop in their offense. And yeah, just go for it. You know what I'm saying? So might as well. What they got to lose? They're down 1-0. This is it. You do or die. So second half is getting ready to start. Players are in the tunnel. Let's get it.
Welcome back. 32 years since Belgium last got the better of Portugal in a World Cup qualifier in the King Baudouin Stadium in Brussels. On one of the last 8 meetings. A collective sense of energy and urgency amongst this group as they discuss the best approach.
This is Belgium's best chance to win this tournament, man.
Martinez going through the shot there.
Look at Thierry Henry.
Emerging back.
I forgot he was on the Belgian staff.
Warm evening in Seville, southern Spain. Beautiful area of Andalusia. And Belgium hoping to tie down the beautiful prospect of a quarter-final in this tournament, which would be against Italy in Munich on Friday. But that gentleman will have plenty to say about it. Conjecture, as there always is around Ronaldo, as to whether we'll see him at a major tournament again. One would have thought that we probably will, not least because the next World Cup is now less than a year and a half away. It'll still be a couple of months short of his 38th birthday when World Cup 2022 opens in Qatar.
So let's get it, man. Second half's about to begin. Let's go.
Further games at this Euro to parade his considerable skills. Underway once again. Portugal Portugal in the predominantly white and trailing to a splendid goal by Torgan Hazard, scored 3 minutes before half-time. And I wonder in that Portuguese locker room, Taylor Twellman, what the content of Fernando Santos' message will have been.
One of urgency, you know, a little bit quicker change of the point of attack, and it just being a little bit more urgent going forward. I agree with Steve McManaman and Tim Howard that you don't want to be expansive in the first 10 to 15 minutes and lose this one. However, you obviously came into the game being very pragmatic and being very slow. You can't come out and start the second half and start that way. So I'd look and expect to see a more aggressive Portugal with the ball at their feet, especially in the first 15 minutes.
Here's Ruben Dias, Premier League Player of the Year, to Pepe. Eden Hazard. Taken down. Straightforward foul. Then it's
Alta.
Neuer from Munich is the referee.
Well, it's been that kind of game for the Belgian attackers is when they do turn it over and try to go the other way, immediate reaction
Oh no.
from Portugal. But Kevin De Bruyne is not feeling well. Immediately when the whistle was blown, De Bruyne looked at the Belgian bench and
man.
signaled that he may need to come out of this.
The first to come to him was Cristiano Ronaldo. De Bruyne is such an important part of this team. Dries Mertens has been summoned.
Wow.
Pulling up innocently in the corner. De Bruyne, who before today had only played half of the available minutes of this tournament. This could have serious repercussions going forward for the much fancied Belgians. It looks to have Sean Maloney to play with Roberto Martinez at Wigan, Scottish international. We'll see the substitution.
Oh man, that sucks.
De Bruyne muttering under his breath.
And it's got to be from this tackle. Because you would have to think at halftime, Roberto Martinez and the staff had the conversation with Kevin De Bruyne, you know, where the ankle was. And so obviously he didn't test it at halftime, came out, and immediately had to make that substitution.
Well, to bring on a player of Martin's quality is
On and off with Manchester City, so now big concerns for Belgium, not only in the second half, but in the quarterfinal if they advance.
One of the virtuoso elements of this impressive Belgian team was a late challenge by Bernardo Silva. Jumping for a ball he was never likely to win.
ooh.
Selection of a card. Bruyne's replacement, Dries Mertens, hugely experienced. He's yet another of the 100 plus cap club. Different players of De Bruyne, as indeed most people are, and now Renato Sanchez is down. And it's just beginning to bubble.
What was that?
Yeah, but this is where a referee's got to get control of the game, because what if we've been 2.5, 3 minutes in the second half and we've seen 4 fouls, and all 4 have been late challenges.
It's getting chippy out there.
Renato Sanchez. And Hazard. Torgan Hazard. Two to his right, one to his left, and Mertens won't be reaching that.
Good ball.
Into a gap for Romelu Lukaku, led by Rui Patricio. Bernardo Silva. Cleaning up by Eden Hazard. Whitson. There's a fighting in that central area of the pitch. Hazard encouraged to lose his balance, and Dallo then kicks the ball away. Which doesn't help his cause, and into the book he goes.
Okay.
The game at the highest level is how well you can technically receive a ball in a half a turn. We've seen it time and time again throughout this tournament. Eden Hazard with a wonderful display here of getting the defender in a bad spot. He then has to bring him down. But Eden Hazard just receiving that with the defender on his backside, just really putting that defender in a bad spot. You know, Mertens is going to have to be a little bit more influential than we've seen in this tournament. He's got a great connection with Lukaku, but he's got to operate in some real good spots to allow Eden Hazard the freedom to find the game. Mertens is not going to have the same kind of freedom that we see with Kevin De Bruyne. But he's got a great connection with Lukaku. Roberto Martinez needs to see that in the second half.
Pepe.
Well done, Pepe.
Won 22 of their last 26 matches and lost just one of those. That's scored in 34 consecutive games since losing the World Cup semi-final to France. Renato Sanchez. Portugal's stats are impressive by normal standards, but they don't match Belgium's. Dallo. And João Coutinho, and Tielemans did well to keep his arms out of the way. This is Eden Hazard.
Well done. Hazard looks up for it today.
Meunier. Back Bernardo Silva. Combination of that caution for Dallo, second of the game. Alinea was the other.
All right.
Guerrero. Dallo. Pepe.
Ronaldo.
Cristiano Ronaldo. Renato Sanchez.
Good tackle.
Solidly won by Tielemans, and then wasted by Belgium. Cristiano Ronaldo. And struck the Marlon en route. Alvaro. Diego Jota. Tree away by Marlon. On by Lukaku. Looking across his Pepe.
Portugal's pressing now.
Much about the knockout stages of tournament football is about moments. We've seen one moment. Brilliance from Torgan Hazard by which Belgium have the lead. Portugal are looking towards replacements. Plenty of time remaining. Hazard. I felt that he was knocked off balance by a couple of previous challenges.
I'm just thoroughly confused. The challenge that was on Eden Hazard from Bernardo Silva, the whistle should have been blown.
Yeah, that's a foul.
This challenge here, that's the foul that everyone's talking about. It's not blown, then the play continues. You're starting to see glimpses of Eden Hazard that we saw before he made the move to Real Madrid.
Wow, finally seeing Joao Felix.
Coutinho, 34, replaced by 21-year-old Joao Felix.
Really?
Bernardo
Who
Silva
else came up? Oh, wow.
gives way to Bruno Fernandes.
One more substitution today. Bernardo Silva is being replaced by 11. Bruno Fernandes.
Renato Sanchez.
Okay. Bring on Joao Felix and Bruno Fernandes. Okay.
This is yet to make the desired impact on this tournament. For Joao Felix, Sporting and fated though he is, it's a first appearance in Euro 2020. Guerrero.
Nah. Good try.
Yeah, but now you're starting to see Portugal press the issue a little bit. We've seen them push their numbers forward. Both fullbacks are in advanced positions, leaving Ruben Dias and Pepe to deal with Romelu Lukaku by themselves. And so immediately when that ball was hit out for a goal kick, Witsel and Tielemans just urging the front three to have some composure. If they can keep possession, they may find themselves in some real good transition moments to look for that second goal.
Ruben Dias.
Good try.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Oh!
That's a possible opportunity.
That was
This
close.
is better for the Portuguese attacking players, understanding when Ronaldo gets into these wide channels, someone's got to come through the middle and be that vertical option. Great recognition here from Jota to understand that that space is then in behind with Ronaldo trying to combine through the middle. A completely different look for Fernando Santos in Portugal now, with João Felix and Bruno Fernandes in this to be on their front foot.
And a chance possibly for Portugal with Renato Sanchez. Eden Hazard goes down and wins a free kick. And it's one of those fragile ankles, which is a perennial problem for him these days. There's so much punishment on them over the course of the last decade. They are made of glass.
Man, every time he goes down, you think about those ankles.
Portugal's better spells. It's right and territorially. All the player can do is watch. Helpless feeling in his core. Okay. Lukaku, Dries Mertens. Very solidly defended by Ruben Dias, who wasn't sure that the offside flag would be going up.
Thank you, please. This is safety announcement. Please stay in your seats and keep your distance. Attention, please. This is safety announcement. Please
Jota. Ronaldo. Renato Sanchez. João Felix.
Ooh, good try, João Felix.
Well, Belgium defending in a back five now, and because of the central channel being overloaded with João Felix, Bruno Fernandes, Cristiano Ronaldo.
Good try, good try.
The three center backs of Belgium need a little bit more cohesion between Tielemans and Witsel through the middle.
Mertens. Alderweireld. Dallo. Palhinha. Cristiano Ronaldo. Shotton. Guerrero. Bruno Fernandes set up nicely for it.
Sanchez just has a wonderful eye for where that right ball needs to be played, but also in transition, defensively being a physical impact and understanding where those fires need to be put out. Really impressed with Renato Sanchez in the last two games here.
Dries Mertens locating Axel Witsel. Tielemans. Uefa Euro 2020 coverage tomorrow from the round of 16 will be in Bucharest for France against Switzerland. Coverage begins 2:30 Eastern. Kickoff is at 3. Here's Lukaku.
Ooh.
How about the touch from Eden Hazard here? It's played on the wrong foot, so he's got to flick this with the outside of his right hook
Get
to
us the
his
ball.
brother overlapping. Just fantastic touch there, and understanding between the two Hazard brothers. And it hasn't been the easiest of games from Romelu Lukaku, but from what he has shown with Roberto Martinez since the World Cup, 23 goals his last 21 games, he's always looking for that type of chance.
Where's the foul?
Everything you see makes sense.
That ain't a foul. What the hell is that?
Difference between these teams. A stunning goal by Togo late in the first half.
All right, we're in the 63rd minute. Still Belgium 1, Portugal 0.
Okay.
The difficult part, though, here, John, is this goes against the DNA of Belgium. They'd much rather attack than defend. So now the question is whether or not Roberto Martinez can look at this and say, do I need to bring in another
Carrasco.
two-way midfielder to maybe help in these moments to make it difficult for Portugal to play through them, and then just rely on the expertise of Lukaku up front to help them in transition on the counter.
João Felix.
But sitting in, defending in a low block just really isn't what Belgium wants to do here.
Palhinha. Renato Sanchez. Belgium work their way out. Eden Hazard. Tielemans. Eden Hazard. Some minutes in his playing time with Real Madrid. Really the most fouled player season after season when he was struggling his stuff at Chelsea in the Premier League. Renato Sanchez, contributing so much in so many areas of the pitch. Rafa Guerreiro. Ronaldo wanted it hit early and long. Thought that was more considered than that. Renato Sanchez. Witsel. Roberto Martinez there, directing operations, a man who, in his heart, is 80% purist and only 20% pragmatist. Bruno Fernandes.
Portugal's pressing, man. It ain't gonna work. You better cross him that, man.
Dallo. Back when I talk about Hazard inadvertently to Courtois. We talk about Belgium's golden generation. It's a slightly lazy tag, but it conveys an accurate meaning. The worry for them is that whilst this may be golden, there isn't a next generation in the sea. They failed to qualify for this year's European Under-21 Championship. Their Under-19 team is ranked only 16th in Europe. So there is a feeling of now or never about this for Belgium.
Well, look at the three center backs, 32, 34, 35-year-olds. That says it all, doesn't it?
Belgium had some momentum and some initiative late in the first half. When they scored, they've surrendered most of that.
Portugal's on the attack. Ronaldo.
Cristiano Ronaldo, and now Guerreiro.
Guerreiro. Jota.
Renato Sanchez.
It's not good enough. Hitting and hoping, man. And
Change attack. Andre Silva. Eintracht Frankfurt, 29 goals this past season, nearly twice as many as he's ever got before in a single season. On the way very shortly. Hazard. After the first time he's been down. Lukaku and Pepe. There's something of a disagreement in the wake of it.
Standing all over the man.
Battered and bruised. Hazard, unbowed. A lawyer from Munich arbitrates. So here is that Portuguese substitution. Diogo Jota goes off, replaced by Andre Silva. With the defending champions 20 minutes away from seeing the crown slip.
Yeah, but with Andre Silva coming into this one, now that frees up Ronaldo a little bit because Silva's more of an out-and-out number 9, 40 goals over the last 2 years. He's probably, when you look at the orthodox 9 since Ronaldo's been, he's the best 9 Portugal's had since Moleta. So now Ronaldo can go find the game, go drift off to the left, come to the right, He can play all
20 minutes for Portugal to get an equalizer plus extra time. That's not going to work. Good idea, but not good enough.
Now Lukaku for Belgium. Okay.
Well done.
Dallo.
What was that?
It was curiously stretched at that point without any sort of midfield. Yeah, but Tomo. It's a very sapping conditions.
It's a good ball. Ah!
Had the extra 2 days rest in preparing for this game. Bellingham. Bruno Fernandes. Seeking the ball very deep. A player that can make such a damaging difference. João Felix. That was a free kick, and this is for Ronaldo within range. So a yellow card. Thomas Vermaelen.
For the most part, we haven't seen the three older center backs also get into these spots where you have to peel off,
Yeah, that's a
come
foul.
into the space in front of you, and then the technical player can maybe just have a little touch or movement to draw that foul.
Wow, Ronaldo got another chance.
So far from Vermaelen and company. Again, that was the one spot where Vermaelen didn't want to be, and now Portugal have a dangerous set piece here for Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, everything about this, the distance, the setup,
The stage, the challenge, the potential acclaim, the deep breaths, the focus. Shouldn't ignore the fact that Bruno Fernandes is there as well. There are very few people that brush this man to one side. A dummy Portuguese wall being built. And it is
Ronaldo.
Cristiano Ronaldo into the real version of the Belgian wall.
Nah.
Anguish from Eden Hazard. Manager's still out there, cajoling, encouraging. Certainly wasn't the sweet contact he was looking for. Pepe. Whistle. Mertens. It looked to be accidental from Eden Hazard. Foul's been called.
I mean, this, in a nutshell, describes how the second half has been, no? Sloppy, disjointed, no real rhythm.
Renato Sanchez. Pepe. Of course, this will be played to a full house of 60,000. Today's attendance, 11,500.
Wow. 11,000 in Sevilla. Spain is what's Spain's situation? Somebody hit me down in the comments. What's Spain's situation with the pandemic?
Renato Sanchez to João Felix. Andre Silva, João Felix. No trip. Papa Guerrero. Ronaldo
What was that, Ronaldo? Seriously?
Portugal felt like João Felix was brought down here, top of the 18 from Vertonghen.
Romelu Lukaku has had more fruitful days. He'll still get his reward. The moment he's down. And this is Renato Sanchez for Portugal. Blue, we think, to Lukaku's head. And Pepe then going in very unnecessarily and angering the Belgians. He is a man with a long charge sheet when it comes to incendiary moments, and he gets away with a yellow for that one. 13 career red cards.
Wow, what was that all about?
And the greater concern for Belgium in this moment is the well-being of Lukaku.
But immediately when Lukaku's brought down
Oh,
here,
he stood on his foot.
the back foot of Paulinho hits his head. Tielemans went immediately to the referee, bringing up the head injury, but the whistle was blown
What was
10
that?
seconds before this, and Pepe knew it.
And he regarded that as a free shot.
That was a fair tackle.
It turned out not to be because he's in the book. Who is a potential leader of a next generation? It is João Felix. Evidence to back up his claims there.
The referee had a great viewpoint of that, didn't he? Was right in front of him. Vertonghen timed that tackle perfectly.
Who's still rubbing his head and doing his luck. And a double change by Portugal. Alinia off, replaced by Danilo. And Sergio Oliveira of Porto. The goals this past season to knock Juventus out of the Champions League. He comes on as well. Appeals to the referee from Ronaldo, who was desperate to get over the white line before falling.
Number 16,
And now there are rough edges appearing. And the referee is going to have to use a firmer grip. Players out there seeking to get opponents into trouble. Sergio Oliveira. That's Torgan Hazard. Might be an issue for the driver in the end. Just a comfortable collection.
We're in the 79th, going into the 80th minute. It's still Belgium 1, Portugal 0.
Out of substitutions. Let's go the next 11 minutes out of this tournament. Sergio Oliveira.
Come on, man.
Seemed to be a suggestion that whatever contact was embellished upon.
Ain't no foul. Come on, ref.
Dries Mertens is saying he won the ball. The ball's cut right in front of him.
Come on.
Oh, absolutely. There's no foul there for me.
Ain't no foul. Come on, ref. The hell was that?
Okay. Bruno Fernandes.
Good ball.
Wasted in hope. Well over by Andre Silva.
All right, we got 10 minutes to go.
Surprised a little bit, John, with the pedigree of player that's on the field right now for Portugal. The lack of
And we're in the 80th minute.
and trying to break down this low block for Belgium. It's slow, it hasn't been quick. They haven't got themselves in some good spots where they can combine and try to find Ronaldo or Silva in 1v1 situations. A lot of it is just hopeful balls from about 25, 30 yards out. And hoping one of their star strikers up front gets on the end of it. There's enough quality on the field right now for Portugal to be able to break down this Belgian side. It's just been sloppy. Now that has to be a yellow.
And is from Toby Alderweireld. Still the difference. Torgan Hazard's excellent goal.
Good ball.
Dello.
Good defending.
And it's Torgan Hazard who's back there to touch it behind. Stop on the back foot for much of the second half. Bruno Fernandes.
Oh!
Is punched away. Probably tapped the goalkeeper. Now on either side, that would have been particularly interesting. Pepe.
Good ball.
Depth on that. And as far as Jean Felix.
Ah!
Portugal are fashioning chances, and Ruben Diaz was the man on the end of that one.
Oh, and a perfect ball whipped in a clinical header. Anywhere to the right or left of Courtois, we've got a 1-1 game here.
Yep, anywhere to the left or right is right.
Major League Soccer action continues on Saturday as the Columbus Crew open their brand new stadium, Lower.com Field, against the New England Revolution. Coverage begins at 5 p.m. Eastern on ESPN,
Let's go, guys. We're down to the last 8 minutes plus some. There's going to be some injury time, so yes, sir. Let's see what happens. Good ball.
Towards Cristiano Ronaldo. And before I'm shooting it.
Oh my goodness!
A matter of inches. Rafa Guerrero, and now Eden Hazard on the break with 2 for company. Mertens. Romelu Lukaku.
Foul.
And he drifted infield and tumbled over. Fouled for a free kick.
What a strike this is from Guerrero. Fantastic
Man.
strike. Lukaku's brought down from Oliveira here. Does a wonderful job of holding on.
Wow,
You've
that's
got to strike
unfortunate.
this perfectly off the
Oh
half
my
volley.
goodness.
Perfect technique off his
That
own
was it.
foot.
Wow.
What a strike. Portuguese fans wondering how that doesn't hit the inside of the post and end up in the back of the net.
The moments of Belgian alarm, but here an opportunity to put this game to bed. It's Romelu Lukaku.
I'm a little surprised that Roberto Martinez hasn't gone with maybe another center back in this situation. Because you've got 2 guys playing in the wing back positions that don't really want to defend in this posture. Torgan Hazard and Bernie. I'm surprised he hasn't brought on a 4th center back here.
Andre Silva. Cristiano Ronaldo. Slowly left booted for Marlon to corner. Portugal well ahead in terms of efforts on goal in this game. Bruno Fernandes. Sergio Oliveira. Bruno Fernandes. Guerrero. Sergio Oliveira. Bruno Fernandes. And now it's Torgan Hazard. Freeing Romelu Lukaku. Ruben Diaz retreating. And Lukaku lost track of the ball at the critical moment. And Portugal can come again.
Belgium's playing a man down right now because Eden Hazard cannot move. He's grabbing his left hamstring at the bottom of your screen. So right now they've got to be very careful with Portugal on the counter.
Which could happen now. See Hazard at the bottom of your picture, looking round at the bench as if to say, I'm struggling here. Cristiano Ronaldo. Sergio Oliveira. Strongly won by Dallo. Bruno Fernandes, out by Tielemans. Witsel pressure. Eden Hazard's race is run here. Yannick Carrasco is coming on in his stead. You lead it. So that's two talismanic Belgian playmakers sidelined through injury now. De Bruyne and Eden Hazard.
Wow.
Two of the three who were injured at the outset of the tournament. Remember, Italy awaiting the winners of this. Belgium getting a little. Dallo. Sergio Oliveira. There's been a suggestion with the Belgian camp that in previous knockout games they've been too cavalier, giving the opposition too much of a chance. Also then the Euro 60 quarter-final against Wales. Andre Silva towards Ronaldo, but it nearly reached him.
Good defender.
Tucked away by Mertens. Guerrero. Ronaldo. Andre Silva. Brave save by Courtois.
Well, it's a wonderful flick to the back post here from Ronaldo, but immediately Courtois has to react. He is at all hesitant coming off this line. But Silva's got a free opportunity. It's all about reactions for goalkeepers, and anytime you're hesitant, it can put you in a bad spot. Courtois has immediately reacted to come off this line.
Ruben Diaz. Dallo. Lukaku. Away from Ruben Diaz. Carrasco free with him. Yannick Carrasco for Belgium. Weakness tricks will find a way out of a tight corner. This is for Portugal. Bruno Fernandes as we move into the last minute of 90.
Wow, in the 89th minute. Wow, this is heating up.
The classic exhibition. Many hoped for and anticipated. Still have a very dramatic finish. It's Sergio Oliveira. Diogo Dallo and the early shouts. Clear and strident from Courtois. The message we're getting from the court officials area is that there will be 5 extra minutes.
5 extra minutes, so.
Belgium being encouraged to hurry up. Capable of great football. This needs to be grinding football for the next 5 minutes if they're to see this through.
Maybe you talk about their history and those moments where they may have been too cavalier in these big games. That's where the continuity comes into play. That's where the experience comes into play. And so, as a manager, Roberto Martinez can set yourself up and do whatever you may, but the experience is then on the field, and you've got a wealth of experience for Belgium in these moments right here. They've got to see this game out.
João Felix,
The last 5 minutes.
Bruno Fernandes, Andre Silva. João Felix. Sergio Oliveira. Danilo. Portugal have batted away for much of the second half. That is an effort of wild optimism by Bruno Fernandes, and time is ebbing away. Short faces, folded arms, the body language says a lot.
And they've had their chances, haven't they, in the last 10 minutes? Off the post from Guerrero,
Wow.
the header from Ruben Diaz, and even the half a chance from Andre Silva. They've had their opportunities.
Belgian ball.
All right. All Belgium have to do is hold out for the next 3 minutes.
Belgium, Italy. 22 previous meetings and only 4 Belgian wins as Roberto Martinez ushers Leander Dendoncker towards the near touchline to come on. From this throw though. Carrasco. That's short. Tallo. Bruno Fernandes. João Felix.
2 minutes.
And Guerrero. Throws it up for Lukaku. His control was better than his layoff. 90 seconds now in Seville. And the crowd slipping from Portugal's head. Carrasco. 2 against 2 here. About to become 3 against 2 with Tielemans' run. And that was a great opportunity to seal the game for Belgium. Will they pay for it? João Felix. Andre Silva. João Felix.
I think that's it, folks.
Carrasco's getting an absolute earful from Vertonghen and Vermaelen there, because that is the opportunity where you can kill the game, but a careless pass allows Portugal to come back the other way.
Here comes Dendoncker. A matter of seconds for him, and he's replacing the man whose goal looks increasingly likely to be decisive. Torgan Hazard.
And you knew this game was going to need a moment of brilliance. When it's all said and done through the 90 minutes, Portugal may have had better chances, but in the one moment, Torgan Hazard delivered.
Mercy of the German referee now. 2 seconds tacked on for the substitution. Danilo. Portugal in peril. And Renier kicks it anywhere. Anywhere is Danilo. There's the whistle. Europe will have new champions in 2021. The end of this particular road for Cristiano Ronaldo. The Portuguese men of war run aground. It is Belgium who reign in Spain and advance to an
Well, folks, that's it. It's Belgium 1, Portugal 0. Portuguese are out. And yeah, very competitive game. But the difference was Thogden Hazard. So
lead a night of celebration in
there's Lukaku and Ronaldo hugging. A lot of respect.
And Portugal's dream of joining Spain is
All right, folks. That's it. Game over. Belgium plays Italy in the quarterfinals. So
didn't get an opportunity to put one.
your boy's signing out. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave some comments. And thank you for watching.
Takes down Portugal and advances to meet
Peace out.
July 2nd in Munich. Stay with Steve McMenamin, Tim Howard here in the studio.